is a reputational suicide. Let's put it no milder than that. So the mystery of the royal family and the respect they commanded has been weakened by the Sussexes. The question is only how do they rebuild William and Kate and the King and Queen, rebuild trust and respect. And the quicker the Sussexes leave Britain, the better.
Prince Harry's reunion with King Charles was supposed to signal a fresh start. After years of public disagreements, legal battles, and family tensions, many believed the meeting at Highgrove House could mark the beginning of reconciliation. But according to royal biographer Tom Bower, the reunion wasn't the real story. The real story was something far more difficult to repair: trust. Bower argues that the royal family's biggest concern is no longer what Prince Harry has said, but whether they can trust him again.
He brings destruction, chaos, and a circus wherever he goes.
Absolutely. And I think what you described about Buckingham Palace's detailed breakdown is actually a matter of a breakdown of trust. The point about Harry was, can we trust him?
Has Harry reached the biggest turning point of his public life, or is there still a path back? For a brief moment, the headlines appeared hopeful. Buckingham Palace confirmed that King Charles had privately welcomed Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet to Highgrove House, giving the king an opportunity to spend time with his youngest grandchildren after years apart. The meeting represented a significant family moment, but it wasn't the only story unfolding that week. Prince Harry had also suffered another setback in his long-running legal battle over security arrangements in the United Kingdom. Questions continued to surround his relationship with Buckingham Palace, and behind the scenes, royal commentators were asking whether the reunion actually represented reconciliation or simply a temporary pause in a much longer conflict. Among those commentators is royal biographer Tom Bower. Known for his books Revenge and Betrayal, Bower has spent years examining the public lives of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Following the latest developments, he offered one of his strongest assessments yet. His argument wasn't simply that Harry had lost another legal case, it was that something much more important had been damaged: trust. In this documentary, we'll examine Bower's analysis, separate opinion from confirmed fact, and explore why he believes Prince Harry has reached a defining moment in his relationship with both the royal family and the British public. The strongest point Tom Bower makes isn't about court cases. It isn't about interviews, and it isn't even about the reunion itself. According to Bower, the central issue is trust. That argument gained renewed attention following reports about Prince Harry's accommodation during his recent visit to Britain. Public reporting indicated that Buckingham Palace had initially offered Harry accommodation during the trip. However, after he did not accept the offer within the requested timeframe, the arrangements changed, and the palace later confirmed he would not be staying there. For many observers, it appeared to be a logistical issue. For Tom Bower, it represented something much deeper. In discussing the episode, Bower argued that the detailed public explanation reflected a breakdown of confidence between Prince Harry and the palace. According to Bower, repeated changes, conflicting reports, and years of public disagreements have left royal officials uncertain about how to manage sensitive family matters involving the Duke of Sussex.
Yes.
And, you know, the way they pursue people who might want to talk about them. This is now an open season. It's fascinating. I've always wondered what the end game of Harry and Meghan's life would be. And I think we're now edging towards the chapters of the decline because the pristineness has now gone.
That is Bower's interpretation, rather than an official explanation from Buckingham Palace. Even so, his analysis raises an important question. When institutions begin carefully explaining every decision, is it simply about procedure, or is it because confidence has already begun to erode? Bower believes the answer is the latter. He argues that the issue is no longer whether Prince Harry remains part of the royal family. The question is whether the institution still believes private discussions will remain private. That distinction may seem subtle, but in a family that has spent generations protecting confidential conversations, it could make all the difference. And according to Bower, that loss of confidence may now be shaping every major decision the palace makes. Tom Bower has spent years writing about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Yet even he suggests that recent events represent something different from the controversies that came before. In a recent interview, Bower argued that Prince Harry has reached what he considers a defining moment in his public life. His reasoning goes beyond any single headline. Instead, he points to the cumulative effect of years of public disputes, media interviews, legal battles, and continuing disagreements with the royal family. According to Bower, those events have gradually reshaped how Prince Harry is viewed by many people. He describes this as a profound reputational turning point, arguing that Harry now faces the challenge of rebuilding public confidence rather than continuing the conflicts that have dominated recent years. Those are Bower's personal conclusions. Supporters of Prince Harry would likely argue that many of his decisions were driven by genuine concerns about privacy, security, and protecting his family. Others believe his willingness to speak publicly reflected issues that deserved attention. The purpose of this documentary is not to determine which interpretation is correct. It is to examine why Bower believes this moment matters. Because in his view, the greatest challenge facing Prince Harry today is no longer winning legal arguments. It's rebuilding trust. And that challenge became even more significant after another setback, one that unfolded inside a British courtroom. While the reunion at Highgrove captured headlines, another event was unfolding that would quickly reshape the public conversation. Prince Harry's long-running legal battle over his security arrangements had reached another critical stage. For years, Harry argued that he and his family required a higher level of protection while visiting the United Kingdom after stepping back from royal duties. The issue became one of the defining legal disputes of his post-royal life, with Harry maintaining that security concerns affected his ability to return to Britain with Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet. The court, however, reached a different conclusion. The latest ruling represented another setback in Harry's campaign to overturn the existing security arrangements. Tom Bower believes the consequences extend far beyond the legal result itself. According to Bower, the court defeat reinforced a growing perception that Prince Harry's public battles are becoming increasingly difficult to win, not only in court, but also in the court of public opinion. That is Bower's assessment, rather than a judicial finding. Others argue that Harry was exercising his legal right to challenge decisions that he believed affected his family's safety. Regardless of where public opinion falls, one thing is difficult to dispute. The legal battle has become closely associated with Prince Harry's public image over the past several years. Instead of conversations focusing primarily on his charitable work, much of the attention has centered on lawsuits, security disputes, and ongoing disagreements with institutions he once represented. For Bower, that shift is significant. He believes every new legal defeat makes it harder for Harry to change the public narrative surrounding his life after royal duties. Whether that proves true remains to be seen, but the timing of the ruling meant that even a positive family reunion could not completely overshadow another difficult chapter. And, according to Bower, the palace had already begun preparing for exactly that possibility. One of Tom Bower's most striking observations concerns the way Buckingham Palace handled Prince Harry's recent visit. Rather than remaining silent, palace officials publicly clarified details surrounding Harry's accommodation after conflicting reports emerged. For many people, it appeared to be an unusually direct response from an institution famous for its never complain, never explain approach. Bower believes that decision reflected something important. According to him, the palace was no longer simply managing a scheduling issue. It was protecting its own credibility. In Bower's view, years of public disagreements, interviews, memoirs, and competing narratives have fundamentally changed how royal officials approach sensitive situations involving Prince Harry. He argues that greater transparency from the palace was intended to prevent confusion and demonstrate that official decisions followed established procedures rather than personal disagreements. That remains Bower's interpretation. Buckingham Palace has not publicly described its reasoning in those terms. Even so, the episode highlighted how dramatically the relationship has changed. There was a time when disagreements inside the royal family rarely became public. Today, even questions about travel arrangements can dominate international headlines. For Bauer, that illustrates the broader challenge facing everyone involved. Once trust has been weakened, even routine decisions can become the subject of intense public scrutiny. And in his opinion, that scrutiny doesn't end with Prince Harry. It also affects Meghan Markle. Although much of the recent attention has focused on Prince Harry, Tom Bauer believes Meghan Markle also faces important decisions about what comes next. During the interview, Bauer suggested that both Harry and Meghan are entering a new phase of public life, one in which previous strategies may no longer produce the same results. He argued that the couple's future reputation will depend less on revisiting past grievances and more on how they choose to respond to the challenges ahead. Bauer also expressed concern that further public disputes or new allegations involving the royal family could deepen divisions rather than repair them. Those comments reflect his opinion and should not be interpreted as evidence that any future actions will occur. Supporters of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would likely argue that they have every right to tell their own story and respond to criticism when they believe it is necessary. Others believe the time has come for both sides to reduce public conflict and focus on rebuilding relationships privately. Whatever direction Prince Harry and Meghan choose, one thing appears clear. The next chapter of their public lives may be judged less by what happened in the past and more by the choices they make from this point forward. And that leaves one final question. If trust has truly become the central issue, can it ever be rebuilt? Throughout this documentary, one theme has connected every chapter. Not court cases, not interviews, not even family disagreements. Trust. According to Tom Bauer, this is now the defining challenge facing Prince Harry. He argues that rebuilding his reputation is no longer about winning legal battles or responding to critics.
And it was very interesting that that was followed within 24 hours by the king saying he's not going to stay in Buckingham Palace.
Ooh.
And, the king knew. I mean, the palace knows what's happening in every part of our society. So they knew he was going to lose the case today. They knew that he was not going to get rabbit protection. They knew what he's playing at. And I think that is what you're seeing. They're distancing themselves. He was given the last chance, and he blew it.
Instead, it is about convincing people, both inside and outside the royal family, that the next chapter will be different. That is Bauer's opinion, and not everyone shares it. Supporters of Prince Harry would argue that many of his actions have been motivated by a desire to protect his family, speak openly about issues that mattered to him, and challenge decisions he believed were unfair. Others believe that after years of highly public disputes, the time has come for a different approach. One point raised during Bauer's interview is particularly striking. He suggested that Prince Harry now faces a choice between continuing the conflicts that have defined much of the past 6 years or focusing on the charitable work that once formed the foundation of his public image. For many years, Harry was widely associated with military veterans, conservation projects, mental health initiatives, and the Invictus Games. Those achievements remain part of his legacy regardless of later controversies. The question now is whether future headlines will once again focus on those accomplishments or continue to revolve around legal disputes and family conflict. Only Prince Harry can answer that. But according to Bauer, the opportunity to change direction still exists. Whether it will be taken remains uncertain. Tom Bauer believes the next few years could become the most important period in Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's public lives. His argument is straightforward. He believes the couple have reached a point where every major decision will influence how history remembers them. Will they continue speaking publicly about the past? Will they focus on new charitable initiatives? Will they redefine their roles outside the royal family? Or will the disagreements that have dominated recent years continue to shape public perception? Those questions remain unanswered. During the interview, Bauer also suggested that future public criticism of the royal family could further complicate any attempt to rebuild relationships. Those comments represent his personal assessment rather than established fact. Equally, supporters of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex may believe they still have important experiences to share and every right to express their views. Only time will reveal which path they choose. What is clear is that the decisions made from this point forward may matter even more than those made over the past 6 years, because reputations are rarely defined by a single event. They are shaped by what comes next. At first glance, this appears to be another story about royal disagreements, a court case, a family reunion, another chapter in the long-running tensions between Prince Harry and the royal family. But Tom Bower believes the story has become something much larger. He argues that it is now about credibility, about reputation, and above all, about trust. Whether viewers agree with Bower's conclusions or reject them entirely, his central question deserves consideration. How do public figures rebuild confidence once relationships have been damaged? For Prince Harry, the answer may not come from another interview or another court case. It may come from years of consistent actions that gradually change public perception. For the royal family, the challenge is different. How do they protect an institution built on continuity while repairing relationships that have become increasingly public? Those questions remain unresolved. The reunion at Highgrove showed that dialogue is still possible, but rebuilding trust takes far longer than arranging a meeting. It requires patience, consistency, and time. Perhaps that is why this story continues to capture so much attention around the world. Because at its heart, it isn't simply about royalty, it's about family, it's about forgiveness, and it's about whether trust, once broken, can ever truly be restored. What do you think? Has Prince Harry reached a genuine turning point in his public life? Or do you believe the relationship with the royal family can still be fully repaired? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more in-depth royal documentaries. We began this documentary with one question. Has the palace stopped trusting Prince Harry? According to Tom Bower, the answer is yes. Whether that judgment proves permanent is a story that has not yet been written.